Hey, what's up, guys? Eyes open to California here. So, I had a dream last night, and I just want to document it, right? Because it has a lot of weird details. I just woke up a little while ago, so gotta do my hair. Um, so it starts off like this: I'm in a submarine, and we're stuck at the bottom of the ocean, and for some reason, the submarine just won't go. Like it just can't be driven, or whatever term you use for a submarine. It just won't go. It's stuck at the bottom of the ocean, and we have electricity, like as far as lights go, like inside, but we just can't go. So the drive mechanism or whatever, that part is disabled somehow. Uh, so one of the dudes in our unit takes the lead and he says he'll take care of it. And he goes out this hatch, and he goes out another hatch, and he takes off swimming to go do something to go restore the power. Somehow he knew how to get this thing operational again. But the person that he was this guy. It was this dude, the dude from Thor, the guy who played Thor. This is the guy who um, volunteered to go restore the power so that the submarine could work again. So I don't know what relevance that has, but that's what it was. Okay. So he took off, and then it switches to the next scene, right? And the next scene, stop sharing. The next scene, I'm standing on top of like the flight deck of a Navy vessel, and it's a big giant Navy boat. I don't know what Navy, um, but it looked it looked American or American influenced. I don't want to just arbitrarily say that it was an American Navy vessel because I don't know that. I know that we were all speaking English, and it was similar English to mine. It wasn't like some weird English where you have to like listen and be like, "What kind of American are you speaking?" Right? Um, it wasn't like that. Uh, but it was a similar looking Navy ship to a U.S. Navy ship, and we're at port, which means like we're parked. The Navy boat is parked up against a pier of some sort, um, and there's the country wherever this port city is. It's all right there, and for some reason I'm standing like at the back of the boat. I don't know if I'm at the back of the boat or the front of the boat. I don't know. Um, But all I know is we were parked. It was safely parked. The sea was calm. There was nothing going on. And then for whatever reason, it seemed like this. It seemed like this nose came up. I don't know if it was the nose or the end. It seemed like it came up, and then it started rocking. It rocked back and forth, only just a little bit. Like it went this thing because I'm like, man, it looks like that nose is coming up, like it's bending up. And the boat rocked, and then it rocked, and then it rocked one more time, went back, and then it took a dive. And it happened suddenly. It was like on the first time it was a little bit. Second time it was a lot of it. And the third time, I mean, it just flat out just you're probably getting dizzy watching me. I'll stop doing that. The third time, I actually grabbed the rail, like, and I held on to it. And I even wrapped my legs around it, like if you're what's the word called? Like if you're you got somebody like a rear naked choke and you're trying to get your underhooks in. Um, so at any rate, what was I saying? So I'm basically holding on to this railing system like for my life, and the boat just took a dive, and I expected it to pop back up one more time so I could at least get ready for it, but it was going down. Uh, it went like that, and the water just came over both sides. I mean, it just and it was a we went deep and fast. Like it was ridiculous. And when the water came, you're like it was super heavy and it pushed down super hard and like squished me against the railing, which was a good thing um, at that instant in time. And then after that, I let go and I took off going towards the top. And I made it to the top, and now I'm on the surface. And the water was the water was dark. It was dark water. It wasn't like was not like Caribbean water that's this color, right? Um, got my wife's little pretty rock things right here. So it wasn't like the Caribbean blue where it was like this. This was more like a bluish, no, not even this blue. It was like a dark bluish green, murky water. Um, just to give you like a little bit of geography, I know that we just could not have been in the Caribbean. I don't know where we were, but the water was dark and murky. And it's, you know, so anyways, the water comes over, and I mean, I was probably 50 to 100 feet underwater at this point, and the boat is still sinking. And I took off. And I was trying not to get stuck in that vacuum, like when the Titanic sunk, wherever the body of the boat went, it created a suction with that water, and anybody who was too close to it, they got sucked down that suction. So it wasn't like that. Or I tried to get away from it and then go up. So anyways, I get up, and I'm on top of the water, and I'm gonna pause this scene right here real quick. And here's what I had going through my head when the boat started rocking. It looked like the end of the ship that I was on had bent up. And I looked on the other side, and it looked like that other side had bent up. It looked like the boat flapped up on both ends. Looked like both ends flapped up. And when both ends flapped up, started rocking, and then it was a done deal. Uh, that's what it felt like when I was on the deck, right? So now we're floating on top, and this was a whole freaking Navy ship full of people, right? And up on top swimming, there's only like 50 of us. And we got picked up, and we got taken and put on another Navy boat, right? So I'm gonna show you right here. I'm gonna share my screen, and I'm gonna kind of give you a little visual, so you know what I'm talking about, right? But before I do, okay, so this is a similar concept, but not really, not quite, right? So this is an amphibious assault um, Navy vessel, right? That has this weird door, it flips up, and then the Marine amphibious assault vehicles splash out of it. So these tanks, basically, they're 26 tons, and you can go from the beach to the Navy boat. They float. They're floating tanks. Uh, and they go up in here, and it's like a parking lot for them, right? And then when it's time to play, this rear hatch opens, and the Marines come out. So this literally would be like the literal definition of a can of ass whoop. When the lid comes open on this can, ass whoop comes out, right? Not to be confused with, but this is, if you can't get a hold of this guy, right? If you can't get a hold of him, then you send the Marines. But if you can get a hold of him, then he'll take care of it. Anyways, I just thought that was, I just thought that was hilarious when I seen it. So this right here is a kind of whoop, if you get what I'm saying. So I just thought that was funny. So, anyways, this is what the boats do, right? But in my dream, the ship was more like this. Something I don't even know. I don't know. Um, it seemed like the end of the ship was more like this. Had a more of a aerodynamic type shape, but it seemed like this end lifted, and it seemed like this end lifted, because I was thinking to myself, was there just like some kind of a sudden explosion that just happened under this boat that like did something to the structural integrity of it, and they both ends lifted up? Like how did this happen? um, I'm telling you, this freaking boat sank in less than 60 seconds. It rocked one time, two times. The third time, it was done. It was over. Like literally, it probably sank in 30 seconds. And being on top of that deck in my dream, I was scared. I was just like, oh, this ain't going to end well. So I don't know what happened, right? So the next scene is is we're on a different ship. things are so cool. We're on a different ship, and I would say it's like this. We're in one of these areas, right? One of these areas here. I'm not sure if this is the elevator. I mean, if this was an aircraft carrier, this would probably be like the elevator that takes the jets up to the flight deck. But we were hanging out in some little spot like this. And there was only like 50 of us. That whole entire boatload of people. There was only 50 of us. And we were wondering like what happened? How in the world did this happen? Like, how did this freaking boat go from being parked on calm ocean to being at the bottom of it? Like, what the freak happened? And we were mad. And then somebody said, hey, you know what? At least we're alive. And we're like, yeah, amen. So we started singing a song. And I don't know what song this was. And we're singing a song. And then we're happy and carrying on. And then some high-ranking Navy dude comes up. And he says, hey, the last of the survivors are coming up right now. And then we stopped singing. And then water started coming out of everybody's eyes. And it kind of took just a ugly feeling kind of took over everybody, like, wow, like that, all those people, they're done. And then I thought to myself in my dream, I said, I wonder if my daughter made it, which doesn't make any sense because she ain't nowhere even old enough to be in the military. But I said that in my dream, I wonder if my daughter made it. So we all got up and we went walking over to meet the last of the survivors. But there was not very many of us, I'm telling you. In this little holding area here, there was only like 50 of us. So 50 of us must have been on the back deck, ready to go, or the back deck, the top deck. And then the others, they must have been like just maybe 1 or 2 levels underneath, because I'm telling you, everybody else, that was their tomb. It was done. It was sad. It was ugly. Like the feeling of sadness that overwhelmed me in my dream was like, wow, this feeling sucks. So at any rate, I'm looking at this picture still, trying to think of anything. So then the next scene is, I never did get to see the next batch of survivors, because the next scene is let me see here. We're on the very back. We're in the very back of a ship in this area here, looking this way as the ship is going out to sea again. And the people were murmuring, they're like, can you believe this? Freaking, we were on a boat that just sank for no reason whatsoever. And instead of giving us a few days to shake it off, they put us on the next boat and sent us back out. And they're like, unbelievable. And everybody's just murmuring. I don't know what the relevance of this is, right? At all. So the next scene is I'm in my truck and I'm looking at a strip mall, right? Just a regular strip mall. So you know how it is. You always have like the big mega shopping store, right? Like Food Max or whatever the case may be, Food for Less. And there's always little stores next to it. Well, to the right of the big store was a bunch of little stores, right? And I made a phone call to one of these little stores, and it was a camper rental place. And stop sharing for a second. And this camper rental place, it was just a little hole in the wall office. And it was an East Indian dude answers. He was like, hey, how you doing? And I said, hey, you guys rent campers, like for camping, RVs and what have you? He was like, yeah, yeah. So I said, where are they? And he goes, oh, we have an RV storage place nearby. And we just, when you tell us what you want, we go over there and we get it and we bring it back. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So anyways, we had ordered, I guess we had a group that was going out camping, and we ordered some kind of an RV trailer. And then he come and delivered, and the next scene is we are searching for a campsite. And I'm gonna share my screen one more time. We're searching for a campsite, and the only picture that I could find that was close, here's the Missouri Ozarks. In case ain't nobody ever showed you the Missouri Ozarks, this is what all the hype is all about, right? They look super cool. But so we're looking for a camp spots. Oh, this one will work. And we're looking for a spot that's kind of like this, right? Like its own private little area like this, but it had like little fingers coming off of it, right? And we're pulling the combination around and we're getting ready to park it. Well, I'm just showing you this for one reason. In my dream, I had these little balls. They were sinking objects, and they had a really super bright light inside of them, just like orbs, if you will. I had these sinking orbs, a whole bunch of them. And when when we got to the spot that we were going to camp at, I grabbed the orbs and I somehow made them light up, and I threw them into the water and all over the place. And they were like, "Hey, what are you doing that for?" And I said, "Because I want to be able to see the fish. Um, I want to be able to see the fish swimming." So I had thrown all these orbs all around that little cove, kind of fingery kind of area, and it illuminated the water. The water was only like 4 or 5 feet deep, but the light was at the bottom, and it was super cool. Um, so I don't know what that means at all. I don't. Okay, so that's the end of my dream. And I woke up and I laid there for about 20 minutes, and I was like, "What does that mean?" Oh, there was one more thing. When we were in when we were in the back of the Navy boat, let me see. Hopefully that thing is still up. Um, when we were in the back of this boat here, and we're going back out to sea, this vessel, we're going back out to sea. Um, I was shown the bridge area of the ship that sank, or the ship that had sunk, and I heard I heard this. Somebody was getting yelled at for hitting two switches. Somebody did something. They said you can't hit both of these at the same time or it'll be fire. I, I thought that's what it said. I thought somebody was getting chewed out, or not getting chewed out, but somebody was getting the rundown on how this machine operated, how this thing operated. Said you cannot hit both switches or it will be fire. You can only do one at a time, one or the other. You can only do this one or that one, but you can't do them both or it will be fire. I don't know what that means. All I know is when that boat was sinking, like in my dream, I was terrified. Like it was terrifying to me. And it seemed like both ends of the boat came up. Like imagine a boat and both ends are able to come up. I know there are ships where the rear opens and things can come out to unload stuff, right? Uh, I know this, but I thought for sure that this boat was capable of opening on both ends, which I really sincerely hope nobody was stupid enough to make a boat like that. Because like, how can that possibly go wrong, right? Don't hit both of these at the same time. Uh-oh, right? There's a Slim Shady in every Navy, right? So, anyways, that's my dream. And when it was sinking, I thought that somebody had utilized some sort of weapon that made the metal pliable and it just bent under its weight. That's what I thought. Like maybe a satellite with some kind of like high speed, low drag technology that heats up the metal to where the metal can bend, you know? And I thought that's what I was thinking on the deck. And I don't even know why I was thinking that. I was thinking, what kind of a weapon possibly went off that made both ends of the boat bend up and then sink? Um, and then later, I had that part about you can only hit one or the other. You can't hit both, or it will be fire. I don't know what that means, and I don't know. At first, I thought this was possibly some sort of a rapture dream, uh, but it doesn't seem to be the case. It kind of seems like a Navy dream. So, anyways, eyes open in California. Just want to document this dream. If you have any insight, let me know. If there's a boat where both of the ends open, like if you're a former Navy dude or dudette, uh, and you know of a boat that does that, let me know because I'm curious, and it's driving me crazy wondering why it seemed like both ends of that boat lifted up, and then it started rocking. And then on the fifth time, it was a done deal. So I have no reason to dream about the Navy. So thank you. God bless you.